Two people killed in a fiery crash on I-196. The freeway shut down in both directions at Chicago Drive as crews clean up and investigate. You've been sending us some incredible photos like the ones we're showing you right now all morning long. Our viewers catching the tragedy on camera moments after it happened. It's just been a devastating scene today, and we do have team coverage of this event. We have Henry Erb out live this morning. We also have Steve Kelso here keeping an eye on the traffic situation. Let's start with Henry out at the scene this morning on I-196. Henry, you've been following this throughout the morning. What can you tell us about what's happening right now? Right now, there's still a lot of fire equipment parked here on Chicago Drive. Blocking Chicago Drive. It is closed in both directions. Same is true of 196 westbound. Also, just in the last half hour or so, they brought in an environmental cleanup truck to try to get rid of some of the diesel spill that's happened up there on top of the freeway. What appears to have happened is this. A semi-trailer truck carrying a load of pies, we are told, ran into the back of an SUV just before 8 a.m. It happened in a construction zone on 196. The truck exploded into fire, bounced over the guardrail, and dove down the embankment right next to the overpass. The cab and the trailer ended up at the base of the hill on Chicago Drive. The SUV stayed on the freeway. It too burned. A passenger in the SUV and the truck driver both died. The driver of the SUV survived thanks to a daring rescue.
My understanding is that police officer and a bunch of bystanders were pulling the gentleman out of the SUV up on top. But everything was engulfed in flames at that point.
At this point, we don't know the identity of any of the people involved in this crash. We don't know where they're from. Apparently, an accident construction team from the Michigan State Police is here trying to help Granville Police figure out exactly what happened. And also, we are told that a crew from the Michigan Department of Transportation is going to be here to see if they can figure out whether or not the bridge is safe. It experienced some scorching. It doesn't look too bad, but they're going to check to make sure. Back to you.
We've been hearing a lot from our viewers this morning on Twitter, on Facebook, calling the newsroom, letting us know it was really a frightening morning out there, Henry. Lots of people seeing this, being affected by it. Do we have any idea at this point when some of those roads may reopen?
At this point, we're not sure. We had heard earlier there was going to be 11 o'clock, and certainly that time period went by. It now looks like it's going to be still some time. Nothing has really moved here. The SUV is still up there. The truck is still down here on Chicago Drive. So we're not exactly sure when that's going to happen.
All right, thank you for checking in live from the scene, Henry. Also, 24-hour news aide Steve Kelso has been keeping an eye on that traffic situation throughout the morning, trying to figure out what we're dealing with out there and how it's going to be affecting people. I understand right now we're getting some more information about some inspectors out there, and maybe you can tell us more about what the problem they're facing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw some of that video that the viewer had sent in earlier this morning of the fire that was going on underneath that bridge, and anytime something like that happens, the Michigan Department of Transportation sends out a bridge inspector. You may remember a while back over in I-75 in Detroit, that was a tanker explosion that did that, and they did a lot of investigating on that. Now a similar situation, although the fire not quite as large, we're going to be sending inspectors over there. Those inspectors are yet to arrive. Now, I've been in constant contact this morning with Michigan State Police, and they're telling me that 2 hours right now, which would make it about 2 o'clock, would be pretty optimistic to get that interstate open back up. If the inspector arrives there and finds that there is no damage with the bridge, it could happen very quickly, and in that case, they would get things open back up. I will stay in contact with the folks over at Michigan State Police throughout the morning and throughout the afternoon, and we'll get back to you with more. As soon as that highway's open, you'll hear about it here on 24-Hour News 8.
Okay, thanks for keeping tabs on that for us, Steve.